everyone, welcome back to another video. If you are new here, my name is Danielle, the American expat mom of 3 living in Germany. Today I have a list. We are going to be talking about cultural things again because it's been absolute ages. I don't know how many of you guys enjoy these videos. Please let me know in the comments. I feel like a lot of my American subscribers get kind of bored by this because they don't really get it, so I apologize, and most of you guys are American, but those of you who live in Germany or are living in Germany foreign totally get these. So I just want to try to have a little mix of everything for everybody in there, and I enjoy talking about them. I think they're really funny. Give me some ideas for cultural so I'm not repeating myself so much, but today I wanted to talk about 10 ways that I feel I am more German. So the first way that I feel I'm more German now, and I do feel like Germans as a society when compared to America is more of like a perfectionist or do it exactly right society. I think that a lot of the time Germans to Americans come off as people who have a lot of their crap together. Now this is subjective, it's different for every person and it varies, but I do feel like it's just really embedded into your culture. Like when it comes to little things like just recycling and when and how to mow your lawn is just very basic and everybody kind of does it the same, whereas in the States everybody just kind of does what they want, and there's not a lot of criticism from the general public about the way you decide to do things. Though this has not applied to me 110% as it does for people like my husband, for example. I also live with kind of a perfectionist low-key or high-key. I've definitely changed, and I do have to have things done a particular way, and I do need things to be in a particular fashion in order to feel that I even function, more so than I remember in the past. Which is kind of true, kind of not true, because I feel like as a mom, in order to keep your sanity, you just have to get kind of used to things being done in kind of an imperfect way and just kind of learn to roll with the punches regardless of how much chaos is around you. But I do feel like, I think if I were to be in America, I don't think that I would be as particular about some things as I am since my time living here. I also have higher expectations for myself, I have found, since I have integrated more here. I definitely don't like to do things kind of I'm trying not to swear, half-butted. I don't want things to be done at kind of an average level. I like things to be done like really well. There are of course those days where all of that just kind of has to go out the window in order to survive, but I definitely feel like I hold myself to a higher standard in the things that I do and what I want to achieve, and I just kind of want to be good at it all, like really good at it all, and like be an expert at everything, which is not even physically possible. But I had hints of that, I think, in my personality before I moved here, but now it's just really blossomed and kind of spiraled out of control. Next one is I almost always finish a meal now. So in America, you usually get, especially when you go out to eat, which a lot of Americans go out to eat a lot, you get portion sizes that are just absolutely ridiculous, and like you just know when it arrives, like you think, oh, I'm so hungry, but even when it arrives, you're like, well, there's no way I can eat all that. So you know you're going to be either bringing home leftovers or you're just going to be giving it back to the server. And I just got used to this concept of being offered more than you can actually put in your stomach. And there's a lot more of this like wasting food problem, I feel like, over there, because of this like your eyes are bigger than your belly kind of mentality. Like your food comes and you're like, oh, is this supposed to be for the whole family or is this just for me? But I mean, I can actually eat quite a lot. Like I really like food, I eat pretty big portions. But I actually now, like since being here, like you usually get portion sizes that are reasonable when you go out to eat for the most part. Sometimes it's not enough. And then I really adapted this way of like don't waste food, which is like a really common thing around here. Like a lot of people like really appreciate the food that's sitting in front of them and they feel wrong about wasting food. And I've definitely adapted that more as time has gone on, and I've gotten used to making food amounts that I know we're gonna finish. Just a lot less food waste. So yeah, I pretty much now always finish my meals. Next one is kind of a funny one. So some people have said that I sometimes sound like I have a German accent or an inidentifiable accent, which I don't understand. I think for the most part it's perfectly clear that I sound American. I've even had this happen to me in person. I think it was like 2 years ago. I was at the gym and I was having a conversation like part in German with this guy and part in English, this older guy. Eventually he asked, "Where are you from?" And I was like, "I'm from America, I'm from California." And he's like, "I would have never thought that." He's like, "I'm married to an American and you did not sound American." I think it was maybe because I was switching back and forth between the languages that it comes out more when I'm trying to go back and forth. Like, you shape your mouth in the way you have to speak the language, and I definitely find that I do sound different. I still think personally I sound very American. However, I sound so different to how I sounded when I first moved here. I'll try to insert a clip of me talking like 11 years ago versus what you're hearing right now.
So how was your Harry Potter experience?
Really good.
It was really good? Why?
Because it was.
What was your favorite character in this movie?
How? My favorite.
Who?
Hagrid. Who was your favorite character?
My favorite character? I don't know, Voldemort.
Okay. He was kind of funny. In a sick kind of way.
So I don't think I have a German accent. I think I do sometimes. I just mainly think that my accent has just changed. Next one is kind of a funny one, and that is that I get dressed straight after I get up. In my family anyways, we would hang out in our pajamas for a long time, especially on the weekends, and then get dressed maybe in the afternoon if we were having a slower day. It doesn't matter how slow the day is, I don't wear my pajamas like at all. Even on Christmas morning, it was weirding my family out. They're like, "Why aren't you in your pajamas on Christmas morning?" I might put on comfortable, like casual everyday wear, but I don't ever walk around in my pajamas because I don't feel like awake. Like, as it is, I am not a morning person, so getting dressed really helps set the mood and get me ready for the day a little bit better. I just don't feel comfortable walking around in my pajamas in the mornings anymore. I will in the early evenings if I have to and I'm really tired, but it's usually comfortable athletic wear. But I am not a pajama person outside of the bedroom that much anymore. Next is I am less patient, I feel like. I feel like Germans are not the most patient type, hence why the supermarket visit is so exhausting to an American foreigner. It's just like in and out, in and out. We don't care about your day, just get the heck out of here. No time for chit chat. It's just a very go, go, go. Get it done and get it done really well mentality. And I feel like, well, when I visited, I told you guys this story of us going to a Chinese restaurant and they were busy and she wasn't really giving us a good reason why they weren't picking up the phone, and I was just a little bit snappy and hungry and a little bit Germanized, and I was just like, well, like, why didn't you answer your phone? You know, like, I don't have patience for this. So I feel like I'm a lot less patient. This could actually be both American and German, but in Germany, it's very common to have a cake time around 3 o'clock, which I think in America we would just call like an afternoon snack. But in Germany, they have like cake, like full on, like rich, sweet, not like as rich as American cakes, but they will have like a cake that's like, you know, with lots of sugar and with cream a lot of the time. Maybe not as sweet or as rich as an American cake, but nonetheless, it's still cake, and it's still cake kind of in the middle of the day, and it's just like kind of normalized along with coffee at that time of the day. So I don't do that because otherwise it just, I don't think it's very healthy long term, but I do need to have like a sweet boost. So I will usually have like a chocolate smoothie around 3 o'clock in the afternoon for my cake time. So I also like to make my own baked things like healthy zucchini breads and like slightly sweet baked things at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I find highly satisfying, and it just really helps you get through the rest of the day. Next is I like to challenge myself a little bit more. It could also be age related though. I feel like I like to get out of my comfort zone a little bit more. Like they just have a different mindset about it. I feel like in this culture, like they don't see it as much of a dread. They see it more as like an opportunity. I'm gonna say it again, this is very subjective compared to the person and could just be like me growing up. My time in America, I just felt like everybody was kind of constantly complaining about things that they found difficult, and I still find that I actually do that, but I'm starting to enjoy it more, and people around me enjoy challenging things and are okay more with doing things outside of their comfort zone. I've noticed, like scary things too, like the hiking that these people do. It's just scary. But I definitely have grown more comfortable with these things. Next is I literally can't imagine my life without my compost. When I was visiting my family this winter, I was so weirded out by not having a compost. Every time I had a banana, I would be looking for the compost and just be like, oh yeah, that's right, I'm just gonna throw it away and it's not gonna turn into this amazing nutrient-rich soil. What a disappointment. Next is I really enjoy gardening. Again, it's very subjective, but I do feel like we have higher standards here in Germany. As a matter of fact, you can actually sue your neighbor for having a disorganized garden. If you would look in my neighborhood, for example, it's just like garden after garden that looks quite a bit better than ours, to be fair, but we have 3 kids. That's always my excuse. And rabbits that eat all of our plants. So it's like, when it comes to keeping it tidy, it's really important. We've had complaints for leaving our kids' toys out, which is like really annoying because it's like we don't just have our garden for show. We actually like to be and use our garden and let our kids play in our garden. People can be so weird about the gardening here. Like people just have really pretty gardens and they just have really high standards for their gardens and they love their plants, and people like to enter gardening competitions, I feel like, more often than over there. Like I feel like in America every garden is just like, if you've got a tidy lawn, you're doing good. The last one is I'm just way more active. When people ask like how I lost like the first like 20 to 30 pounds, it was actually very basic. I did turn vegetarian, but also I was just so much more active. Like I went from walking maybe 20 minutes a day in San Francisco to walking at least 40 minutes to 60 minutes like in the city when we moved to Munich. Riding bikes. People try not to use their cars a whole lot unless they have to. We're a family that tries to ride our bikes if it's within biking distance, and there's so many biking roads, so it's not dangerous and it's so much more relaxing than driving a car, I imagine, especially here, because driving a car here it looks really scary. I haven't done it yet, but it looks really scary with how small the roads are and people driving really fast. I'm still trying to decide if I'm going to learn to drive this year or wait for this pandemic to kind of run its course, because I'm not looking forward to doing it with the FFP2 mask. I just feel like I'd be relatively anxious learning to drive, and then with a mask on top, I don't even know. So yes, that is the 10 ways I feel like I am more German. Like I said, I want to make it very clear that this can be very subjective, but these are just some of the German stereotypes that I feel like I have delved myself into a little bit more, especially since I've been here so very long. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Do you think that my accent has changed, or do you think it's in my head and in the heads of people who have told me that? Please let me know in the comments. And yes, I hope you have a lovely rest of your week, a lovely weekend, and I will see you guys next time.